Change to Harbour the Present by Nolov louscr. Chapter 3. Am I enough yet? Tomura forced Kurogiri to join him in his room to watch the sports festival, and being together in such a small space for so long is beginning to grow cramped already. It makes his skin crawl and itch, but Tomura is terrified that he'll have to walk away from where they're streaming the live feed to his computer to patch up his neck again. And they can't watch in the open space of the bar, not when that clunky old TV is out there, full of static and watchfulness, not when he might be seen watching Izuku, be seen cheering for his friend. Even here, 4 rooms away, Tomura feels as if the man behind the screen is watching him. Kurogiri hands him a bottle of water as President Mike's grating voice begins crackling through the speakers, and Izuku's class walks out onto the empty field. It's easy to pick out the green head of hair he's only seen once, and as soon as he does, it seems like Izuku is looking right into the camera, right at Tomura, smiling softly. Then his attention is dragged away by one of his classmates flanking him, and for a split second he can't help but smiling back, even knowing Izuku will not see. After that, Tomura doesn't pay too close attention to the opening ceremonies. He has no care for the other classes, and he has to conserve his energy to be able to endure President Mike's volume. There is a twinge of anger when the brat who apparently got first place at the entrance exam ends up on the podium and spouts some bullshit about winning. But then the students are lining up for the obstacle course, and Tomura forgets about his rage in favour of excitement. Nothing huge happens at first. It's interesting to watch the sports festival, with all the quirks on display and put to use in unique ways, but Tomura can't see where Izuku is in the crowd of his peers, and it grates at his nerves. Plus, he had promised he'd only watch to support Izuku, and had made Kurogiri agree to the terms as well. Then, Izuku makes himself known on the minefield, and Tomura's jaw drops before he accidentally decays his gloves and half of his computer turn in an instant. Izuku is flying. He is propelled by an enormous puff of pink smoke, and he is clutching a piece of one of the robots like his life depends on it though, so Tomura amends that Izuku is falling. Behind him, he can hear Kurogiri let out a quiet, "Oh!" and has to agree. Except, apparently, Tomura's best friend is not done, because as he loses speed, drops from the sky, he twists and tight and rolls, slamming the metal in between the 2 front runners. The subsequent explosion sends the other 2 boys stumbling, and Izuku barreling over the last of the mines and into the final stretch. "Holy shit!" Tomura whispers, grabbing his phone carefully as his best friend sprints back into the stadium in first place. "What the fuck?" Tomura 4FNG 1252. "What the fuck? Izuku, what the fuck? Why? I cannot believe you just decided time to fly like it was nothing. But also, congratulations, player 2. Holy shit." Tomura drops his phone time to see that Izuku has been assigned 10 million points for being in first place, and can't help laughing, muffled by habit. He isn't alone. It's hard to remember, but Tomura doesn't think he's ever been on the edge of his seat like this for the sports festival as they start the second round. Attention wrapped on the action as Izuku flies stalwart over his competition until the last few moments. It's fascinating to watch how his team moves so fluidly, in sync. It makes Tomura want to work alongside his friend too, even as the thought sours in his chest like something rotten. Izuku may one day become a great hero, but he will still be a hero. Tomura, in the back of his mind, feels as though his convictions are frayed hope between his fingers, and he does not know when their strength was drained away. He holds on to them desperately and hopelessly. It's the only thing that feels real sometimes. He can feel Kurogiri watching him as the break starts, yellow eyes flickering, and Tomura wants to bare his teeth at the man. He doesn't though, because Izuku has moved into the 3rd round of the sports festival, and for now that is all Tomura will let himself worry about. The fear can come later, with the doubt and questioning that will be washed away as it always is. Nothing is wrong. My Doria 1401. Winking face. It's the skills, but thank you, I have absolutely no idea what's going on anymore. I really thought we were out at the end. I've flown more today than I ever have in my life. Tomura 4FNG 1402. I think what you've been up to qualifies more as falling, but for real, you're doing amazing. Win or lose though, you undoubtedly left an impression. Might Doria 1404. Thanks, Tomura. That really does mean a lot. I don't want to let everyone believing in me down. Ah, shit, I gotta go. A classmate needs to talk to me? I'll message you either afterwards or between matches. Tomura 4FNG 1406. I don't think you could let us down if you tried, Izuku. I'm sure anyone else would agree. From behind him, Kurogiri clears his throat. Tomura turns and can't help staring. There is something off about the man he's known for so many years. It's impossible to tell of his eyes or the swirling of his body, but something is wrong with Kurogiri. He looks trapped, beyond the stark expression of loss and the heavy press of hands against his nice slacks, like he's trying and failing to hold his fragile form together. Tell your friend I said good luck, the man says, looking at Tomura imploringly. The age-old war in Tomura's chest flickers with confused, undirect anger snarling in his veins. Then it settles because this is Kurogiri, who is safe. Tomura can't tear his eyes away from the screen. He thought it had been bad when Izuku broke his fingers to slip out of the Genhead kid's quirk. This was something else. Him and the Todoroki kid weren't holding anything back. The field was coated in ice, and some of Izuku's fingers were bruised and others broken, but Tomura could see his best friend yelling, eyes alight with something unfamiliar, injured fists clenched together. Then the Todoroki boy lit up with fire, and Tomura could see Izuku smiling through the flames, wide and overjoyed. The expression cuts down the rising anger in his chest that had grown up and up during the fight like weeds seeking to choke him. Flames look over ice, and Izuku rears his arm back, and the boom that follows shakes the camera, even as Cementos throws up a wall after wall between the two boys. Tomura just sighs and drops his head back, wondering why he's even surprised at this point as his best friend's loss is announced. 2 minutes into the next round, which Tomura barely bothers to watch, a message comes in. My Doria, 1517. Hey, did I do the right thing? Tomura 4FNG, 1518. What do you mean? You did great, but... My Doria, 1521. I made Todoroki use his fire. He didn't want to before. I basically sabotaged myself. Tomura 4FNG, 1522. That kid's dumb as rocks. Why wouldn't he use half of his OP quirk? But you were trying to help him, Mr. Hero, ugh. My Doria, 1523. Chill, drama queen. But I guess, yeah, not using it was hurting him. Tomura 4FNG, 1523. Then there. People who need saving don't always realize they want it. Like, fuck, never mind. There is so much pressure oozing from the television in the corner, Tomura could choke on it, die stifled and controlled by fear. Instead, he is trapped, pinned beneath the weight of the hero killer, and by two swords that are much more likely to kill him than his fear. The man who Sensei thinks he needs, who Sensei thinks he is too weak without. And he knows Sensei is still listening. Sensei is the one who orchestrated this meeting that hurts, where the swords have sliced through his muscles of his shoulder and what feels like nearly to the bone. It hurts, and all Tomura can think, like poison sinking into his mind, is that he wants so desperately to be saved. He doesn't want to be scared and hurt and small, something Sensei can steer around like a limp ragdoll. He wants to be alive. Tomura doesn't want to die. It hurts, and he knows Sensei or the hero killer or Kurogiri or even he is saying something, but none of that matters. He can't hear through the clashing in his mind. And if it's himself speaking, Tomura knows it's okay, because he knows even subconsciously he is too scared to say anything Sensei doesn't want. When Stain finally leaves, the decayed rust of his blade stays smeared across Tomura and stinging against his wound. There is no relief. Sensei is still watching, as he always is. He does not speak as Kurogiri patches him up, does not speak until Tomura leaves the room to rest. Behind him, he can hear Kurogiri's careful words and the croaking rasp of All for One. And Tomura wonders if what he feels about All Might can truly be called hatred. In comparison to what he feels right now, it seems paltry and weak-willed. When he enters his room, he knows he will not find rest, so instead he paces his cage and desperately tries to claw his stubborn rage into a shape that resembles safety.